on, let's go outside. Let's take a walk in the sun. There are things to learn and things to see. A big wide world for you, your dog, and me. Dog Talk. So, you are back. I am so delighted. Ted, and you have more to tell us.
That's right. Scott and Kathy are back with us this time, and last time we visited the Ardmore Animal Shelter, which you're the president of the board there.
Correct.
But these two spend full-time amounts of time with their own organization.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about SOAR.
Well, Southern Oklahoma Animal Resources is our pet project, actually.
Quite a project. It is quite a project.
Yes, it is, and it's in our backyard, and it is a full-time rescue. We're a large dog rescue. We have about 58 dogs there right now. We also have cats, horses, pigs.
Excellent.
The whole 9 yards. And I got the opportunity to go see it.
Ah, can I see it?
Yeah, let's show Pat.
SOAR has been in existence for about 10 years. The way it got started is probably the way many rescues get started. We live in the country. People tend to drop off, dump animals, and we had 5 dogs as house pets, and then another one, and another one, and another one, and pretty soon we were about at 15. And at that point we decided that if we were going to do this, that we needed to build a facility. There's basically 3 of us. It's the 2 of us and our son, who's a senior in high school.
And then we also use people that are not employable. You know, they volunteer here. We have a lot of mentally handicapped people. Yesterday, there were a couple of boys out, or men out here, helping to mow and clean. We have some girls that are on TANF, which is a government assistance program. We have one right now that's getting her master's degree. I mean, that's unheard of, usually, for those girls, but out here they figure out that they can do something to help, and so they do.
A lot of those folks, especially the girls, come out here and they have low self-esteem. Something has happened in their past that was tragic and traumatic, but they have a good rapport with the dogs, and they love the dogs, and it gives them a purpose and hope. And the hope, I think, is the key. They realize that there is light at the end of this horrible tunnel, and they manage to pull through.
I find it very rewarding. I mean, every day it's a joy for me to get up and to see what's going to come that day. You know, what phone call, where are we going to go and help? You know, it's an amazing place. The dogs are being helped and loved, and these people are coming out here and finding love and hope. And Scott and I are very positive people. You know, we're not going to tell you, you know, because of the way that you did this, your animal's suffering. You know, we try to be easy. We try to be a buffer. We try to help them. And we see them time and again. And we're not heroes. But when we go into town, it is like we are a hero. You know, people are like, there's Kathy Germany, there's Scott Sutherland, you know, and they're always so happy to see us. And you just, it feels like you get a warm hug a lot every day.
We're the building of broken toys. You know, the dogs are broken in some form or fashion, they're strays. The people are broken in some form or fashion, they're strays. And it seems like we're a magnet that here they come. And you can't fight it, so you just go with it and hope for the best. And it seems to work.
There are a lot of animals being dumped. We have 2 low-cost spay and neuter programs that we work with, each month, one in Ardmore, one in Medill. The one in Ardmore, you all probably spay and neuter 130 maybe
Probably 120 to 130
a month.
a month.
And then in Medill, we do 60 a month. That's a lot of animals spayed and neutered. And there are still hundreds out there that are still, you know, mothers and babies are being dumped. We live close to a lake, so people think if you dump them close to water, they're going to be fine, but they're not. They're a wild animal's next meal. I know there are people that cannot afford to feed their animals, but there are places to take those animals to. You don't need to dump them.
These dogs and cats are not a disposable item. They are a living, breathing system that is capable of rendering love, is capable of receiving love, and animal or pet ownership is not an entitlement, it's a privilege. And people need to look upon it that way. But rural Oklahoma, rural America, I think has an attitude, it's just a dog, it's just a cat, it'll be okay. You can't just dump these guys. And when you rescue a dog, when you go to your local animal shelter and you adopt a dog, I swear that dog knows that you adopted me. You took me out of here, and they are eternally grateful to you. And they know, I think they know that they were rescued and they were adopted.
And their life has been saved.
Yes.
We find that when we're contacted about an animal or a group of animals, that it's a human problem, not an animal problem. We will go and visit where the animals are, and we have found people living in the most horrible conditions that you can never imagine in the United States, that anyone could live like this. And the reason usually is because they've become overwhelmed with animals.
They can't afford the pet. And so we'll go to the house, we'll understand what's going on, and so we'll do what we can to get them to keep the pet, because that's their family. And, you know, they're giving it up not because they want to, but because they have to. And so rather than us taking it, we will do what we can to see to it that it stays in the home. And sometimes it's as simple as a bag of dog food that we take over there. Sometimes the dog is sick and it just needs some antibiotics, or it just needs something that we happen to have, and so we can help get the dog doing okay. That's kind of it starts off as a dog problem, and it's a human problem, because they're heartbroken and they're losing hope, and that hope is so important.
And we spend a lot of time counseling, talking to them on the phone, and after we get there with the dogs or the cats, we realize no one comes to see them. You know, no one knows if they're alive or not. And so just seeing us gives them some hope. And so I never say, no, we won't come to see you, or we won't come to help. We may not can take your dog in, but we will come and see what the situation is, because if you don't give people that little bit of hope, you don't know what the next step is going to be. And I don't want anything happening because I was too busy to help.
And so you have to be a responsible pet owner. You need to have your dog, it needs to have wellness checks. It needs to be spayed and neutered. The fence needs to be intact. If you take it for a walk, put it on a leash so it doesn't run away. It's not a bad idea to microchip your dog, so if it gets loose, you can be found, and they can contact you.
And vaccinate.
Vaccinated.
Because
yes.
parvo is just a horrible disease,
And
for them to
we
die.
have a lot of parvo around here. But just being a responsible pet owner, a little basic education, and unfortunately in rural Oklahoma, euthanasia is part of the solution. These guys, they know things, and that's what upsets us, is when they're just dumped or disposed of. They have feelings, and you have to respect that.
You know, they have a heartbeat, just like we have a heartbeat. And for anybody to think that they're less than what we are, that's really, really wrong, because they know things. They just can't talk. They can't talk, and they can't cook their own food. They can't clean their own pens, and they can't take their own baths. But they can do everything, but mostly they can love you. You know, it's when I come home from school and these dogs are all barking and yapping, I'm the happiest person in the world, because I just left a bunch of little kids that were, you know, yelling and screaming and hugging and saying, "Do you love me? Do you love me?" "Yes, I love you." And I come in here and I have all the dogs doing the same thing. They can't say what they're thinking, but they're barking. And so I know that they're going, "Hey, hello, we're so glad you're home. We love you."
Oh, that was so touching, guys. Just absolutely beautiful. Let me ask you a final question. Where do you see yourselves, say, in 10 or 15 years?
Doing the same thing.
Yeah, we'll probably just be doing that with a cane. So we'll have one hand will have a bowl of dog food, and the other one will be a cane or a walker or something like that, probably.
Well, let's hope that maybe there are some changes for the better between these years, because it is sad, and a lot of people with great hearts and souls and kindness end up, you know, getting very frustrated and older and not capable anymore of doing this kind of thing, and that is so sad.
Burnout is a terrible affliction in this rescue business. A lot of people burn out, and they burn out very quickly, and it's just one of those facts of life, and you have to fight it all the time.
Yes. Well, I hope that, Ted, thank you so much. You did a great job on this.
You know, you guys were so great, and what you do, it was so, I think, beneficial for our viewers and for me personally to see responsible, good people in a great organization.
Yes.
And I learned a lot. And
Yes.
you guys do a wonderful job.
People don't
Thank you.
think about the rescues. They use them, you know, but they don't really think about what people go through. So we appreciate it so much. And come back anytime.
Yes.
We will. Thank you very much.
We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, Janice has a guest.
A1 Pet Emporium is Oklahoma's authority on healthy nutrition for dogs and cats. Quality does not have to cost more, and we only have the best. If your pet suffers from allergies, digestive issues, skin infections, or hair loss, it may be the result of their diet. A1 Pet Emporium can help. We offer pet portraits monthly, adorable rescue animals every Saturday from noon to 4, and free dog and cat food samples. Locally owned and operated, we want to be your neighborhood pet store.
So, the Epilepsy Foundation has had an event, and you covered this. You were the MC, I understand.
Yes.
How
Ms. Jennifer is here
fantastic.
with us today. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
And there was a huge event here in Oklahoma City. It was a big announcement about the Epilepsy Foundation of Oklahoma joining the National Association, and it was a lot of fun. It was a gala of sorts, and we had a great, huge celebrity here in Oklahoma.
Yes,
we did.
And it was a lot of fun.
So this is, you were representing the Epilepsy Foundation, and it was to raise funds for the foundation?
No, actually, we used to be the Epilepsy Association of Oklahoma, and we've been here servicing Oklahoma since '78. And the foundation reached out to us and asked us if we would join forces with them and become part of a chapter. So the event is to reveal our new name, which was the Epilepsy
Excellent.
Foundation.
Well, obviously, from what I heard, it was a fantastic event. Janice said it was so much fun, so many really nice people, and such a worthy event. That's just excellent. So will this then enlarge your expectations about raising funds or helping, or what will this do?
We're really hoping that raising awareness is huge in Oklahoma, to raise awareness for epilepsy, but we want to get into corporates and start getting some funding and some backing. We need money for research, so that's where we're hoping that we can open some doors there.
And we talk a lot on Dog Talk about disability dogs and what service dogs do for people that have disabilities, but these dogs can really help, I think, kind of put into perspective what kind of disabilities we're talking about in epilepsy itself. And Jennifer, if you could just talk a little bit about how many Oklahomans are affected by epilepsy, how many people are living in the state that need help, and all that kind of stuff.
Oklahoma has over 36,000 people who have epilepsy. Wow. Not the true total, because a lot of people get discriminated against. My opinion, it's the most #1 discriminated disease out there. So anytime that somebody goes into a job, tries to find a job, and epilepsy is brought up, they lose their job or they can't find a job. So insurance, with there's no money, no insurance, then we got to find clinics to get them into. So when they go to clinics and emergency rooms, they're not counted in the CDC total. So it's not the true total, but it is a large amount.
And so, of course, and our concerns are with the dogs themselves that help so much, who alert to these seizures that they have. And as you say, there are so many different kinds of seizures, and they can occur at so many different places and inopportune times, obviously.
Absolutely.
So, you know what we have done? We brought Barbara Lewis with some epilepsy dog alert kind of information for you, and we're going to take a break, and when we come back, let's talk with her. Would you like that?
Absolutely. Yes.
Janice, thank you so much.
You're
It was a fun time. I can see that. We'll be right back.
A1 Pet Emporium is Oklahoma's authority on healthy nutrition for dogs and cats. Quality does not have to cost more, and we only have the best. If your pet suffers from allergies, digestive issues, skin infections, or hair loss, it may be the result of their diet. A1 Pet Emporium can help. We offer pet portraits monthly, adorable rescue animals every Saturday from noon to 4, and free dog and cat food samples. Locally owned and operated, we want to be your neighborhood pet store.
So we have Barbara Lewis with us today, and I'm so glad. And Jennifer is going to address the issue of the Epilepsy Foundation that we have just been talking about. And so tell us, with the a dog, we have Katie, pardon me, over here too, and her mom, and the dog's name is?
Roger.
Is Roger, and Roger is a service dog and alerts to the epilepsy seizure issues. So, you know, we discussed a little while back about a woman named Marcia, didn't we, who would alert, to have a dog that would alert to this kind of thing. What was that?
Marcia has actually a multitude of health problems, one of which is seizures, one of which is heart problems, that when she has these problems, she needs some medication. And so what her dog does is he goes and gets the bottle of meds for her, or he goes and gets the phone for her.
And it is a companion animal also. So that makes a big difference. But these dogs do serve a great purpose in that they do alert when there is a seizure. We will let the person know, or someone to help the person, and get the phone or get the, as you say, the meds, and that is such an important factor. And this is exactly what this dog is for.
Well, there has to have that relationship between, you know, the client and the dog. It has to be a really close relationship in order for the dog to really know and really care whether something is happening to you or not. And in this dog's particular case, he was trained to go and get Katie's mom. And so he's very tuned in, of course, to where Katie's mother is all the time, because if he feels like he needs to go and get her, then he's going to do whatever he can do to get away from Katie and to go to her mom, which a lot of people interpret that as the dog not wanting to be with Katie. But what he's actually trying to do is tell the mom, hey, something is not right here. She is not feeling right, and I need you to come and check on her.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, we did a short video on a demonstration for this kind of thing, which I thought would be helpful. Let me show you.
Basically, we start with puppies, and it's a 2-year process from the time we get the puppy donated until they are working with the client. And the first thing they start out doing is basic manners training and learning to be confident in public and learning to not be distracted in public. And so what are some of the basic manners that they have to learn?
Some of the basic manners that we do train are a sit, which is what Castle is doing right now, a down, a settle, which is just to lay down on the floor and be a good dog, basically, a retrieve. A retrieve is a really necessary thing for all of our dogs, to be able to retrieve any object at all, whether it's a pen or a telephone. We start with them when they're quite small, just picking up a toy. And then kind of working our way up to harder things. It is very important that the dogs retrieve well. And also a sensitivity. I think our seizure response dogs have to be a very sensitive dog, have to be very in tune to people, have to be willing to lay down next to them, willing to look at them and look in their eye and look and figure out what's going on, very in tune to a person. And that's what most of our labs and the golden retrievers are usually a really good choice for a seizure response dog because they are a very sensitive dog. Our dogs are trained with positive reinforcement, getting a dog to do what you want to do willingly. If you're using negative reinforcement, I guess that's what you would call it, by punishing a dog for not doing something, you're going to force a dog to do it, but if they're willing to do it with positive reinforcement, they do it because they want to do it because they love the job, and we make it fun. We want the job to be fun.
Well, and especially in retrieving, because dogs have to be born thinking they can't walk without having something in their mouth, because any dog can be taught to retrieve. But if they're picking up an object that is very difficult, like a credit card off of a concrete floor, or money, or a book, or something that's difficult to pick up, they have to want to do it.
So, Jennifer, this really makes sense, and it's what you're talking about. And people who have this, this kind of issue, Katie, it's important, is it not? You sort of depend on it. So how long have you had your dog?
About 2-3 years.
2 or 3 years, excellent. And it's a dog that's got a lot of energy, it's a companion animal, so it's just like every other dog, except it has this special thing that it does.
Yep.
And we are so glad it did, and I'm sure your mom is glad too. Barbara, thank you so much for bringing the dog up. Jennifer, it's enlightening for to show everybody that raising funds for the Epileptic Foundation, now that you are united with the bigger organization, is so important, because that's what puts these dogs in the hands of people who need them.
Absolutely.
And we are so grateful. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back.
Hey, Dog Talk fans, make sure you join the conversation after the show by going to facebook.com/dogtalktv. Well, hi, Roscoe. He's so cute. You could be featured as our Dog of the Week. Just send us an email with a picture of your furry friend to pat@dogtalktv.com. For now, back to the show.
Well, all right. We get a lot of emails here at Dog Talk, and if you want to email Pat, it's pat@dogtalktv.com if you got a question. And our viewers have some questions for you.
I would love it. It's so important, and this is the way that we learn to what it is that the viewers like, what everybody out there wants to know.
Yeah, so, it's very important that we have you join the conversation.
Exactly, that's it.
All right, now I had a particular incident with my dog. So let me read this. It says, my dog won't take her medication in pill form. I've tried putting the pill in a piece of a hot dog, and she eats the meat and spits out the pill. Peanut butter, which is where I've had the problem, spits out the pill, eats the peanut butter. She feels the pill, she'll spit it out, she'll lick the peanut butter off the floor. I need another option. and I do too.
This goes for, a lot of people have this experience. If they have a dog with even a slight illness, they need to give it a pill. A dog that has to take several pills, like senior dogs, need that kind of thing. A dog with a heart problem, a dog, that occasionally every month or so you give them their worming medicine and all of this stuff.
With us, it was allergies, allergy medication.
So this is, and it comes in pill form. Why, I don't know, but they do that. The easiest thing for me that I have found is to get a syringe from your veterinarian.
Okay.
And you take the pills and you crush them up. You, what I call, powder them. You put them on a sheet of paper or a napkin or something like this.
Okay.
And you crush those pills into powder form.
Okay.
Then you put them into the syringe. Be sure and hold the bottom of it so it doesn't come
Right.
out. You add water to that. Okay, don't fill the syringe totally up, but fill it adequately where you can take the end of the syringe, put it in, turn it upside down, shake it a little bit so that the water will then dissolve the powder, which is the pill.
Becomes a little solution in there.
Exactly, so it's a solution.
Okay.
All you have to do, you can even do it by yourself. If you have a partner, that's even better to hold the dog. You lift the dog's chin up this way toward you, you're up, the dog is down, you lift the chin up, open the mouth and squirt it in. And the dog will go...
Into the mouth.
Into the mouth. And so
Okay.
the dog will go, you know.
Yeah,
But
I'm
it's
sure.
it's
But
there.
it's down.
It's down. And all the time you're saying, good boy or good girl, it's okay. Very quietly, very matter of fact, so that you're not tense, so they don't consider it some kind of punishment, right?
Well, I didn't know where we were going with the whole syringe thing, but I am glad we wound up where we did. So it's an injection into the mouth, just kind of like a squirt gun.
Exactly. It's like a squirt gun. You just squirt it into the dog's mouth, and the deal is over.
Okay, one quick question. We have just a little bit of time. Do dogs normally howl often? What kind of dog is this? A Malamute?
Oh, a Malamute. Okay.
Well, we got a howler here. It howls all the time, even when he's outside. Not very loud, but it goes on and on. Of course, the neighbors, that's a problem.
Yes, well,
for some neighbors.
howling goes with all dogs will howl. Every dog will do it, from the littlest dog to the largest dog, and Malamutes are notorious for it.
Okay.
If your dog is in the backyard, or sometimes even in the house, and a fire truck goes by, or a vehicle that is an emergency vehicle, they hear that.
Or maybe
Now,
an ice cream truck.
I don't know about ice cream trucks, but definitely emergency vehicles. So they do it because it's a very primitive thing. They hear it, their hearing is so acute.
Mm-hmm.
So they can hear this, and it is a joining in with the sound. So that
Okay.
is why they do it. It is a normal reaction.
But what about people that say, well, I want it to stop. I don't want them barking. No barking.
Well, with the barking thing, it's different, and I can address that issue if someone does have a problem with a dog barking. Please do not put on a collar that zaps them, okay? There are
Yes.
other ways. So, send us whatever kind of
That's right.
questions you have. We'd love to answer them. Hope you enjoyed the show today.
Pat at dogtalktv.com.
Yeah.
Find us on Facebook at Dog Talk TV.
Yes, and remember we have a new book out that's called Bodacious Bo.
Bodacious
Hope that
Bo.
you will get this one.
Yes.
It is our second book. We have a third and fourth one coming out. Trying to get people to read, to learn something from them. I hope they do.
I learn something every time you say something, Pat, or write it down. So we had a great time today. Hope you learned a lot, and we'll see you next time.
See you next week.
Dogs. We're talking about dogs. Talking about big dogs, talking about little dogs, oh yeah. Chasing the ball, chasing the cat, digging hole, thing like that. Dogs. Talking about dogs.